Ciao, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Today on Ciao Italia, chicken. Isn't it beautiful? Do you know what it is? It's called speck. Yes, speck. And guess where it comes from? Right up here. Speck, alto, adige, northern Italy. What is it? It's a ham, but it's a particular ham. This is a ham that's made from the pig's thigh, and it has to come from a certain breed of pig. And then this ham, as they say, has a little salt, a little seasoning, a little smoke, and a lot of thyme. And when it's cured, it looks like this. See? This is speck. This is how you would buy it. And there are a lot of seasonings here that individual producers mix up and flavor their hams with. So each one is different depending on what the artisan producer is using. So some may use juniper berries, oregano, cumin, coriander, bay leaf. So this ham is often used like this, thin sliced, as part of an antipasto that you would have with cheeses and olives, marinated vegetables. And oftentimes it's diced to use when you're cooking, when you're making dishes where you want to saute it a little bit. Today, we are going to use it thin sliced with chicken because we're going to flavor our chicken with speck. So speck, alto adige, IGP, which means that this ham has to come from a specific region and follow certain rules. So now that you know that, let's start with how we're going to cook the chicken. So we're working with chicken legs today, and I want to start with some fresh herbs. So we have some rosemary. So fresh rosemary. Don't do this with dried herbs because it just won't be the same. So some rosemary, you just take it off the stem just like that, going backwards. And then we want to have some parsley. You have options here. Here's some parsley with the stems. I'm just going to break that up and put it there. And then here's some fresh oregano. Fresh oregano. You could use also marjoram, which is in the oregano family. You could use thyme for this if you wanted to. It's up to you. So we're going to coat our chicken legs in these herbs. So once you have all of your herbs ready, then you just want to give them a mince. So this ham that I'm going to work with today is an alpine ham. It's a mountain ham. So the mountain air really gives this ham a particular kind of aging. Our mixture looks good. I'm going to put that into a bowl right there. And now we need to get the chicken. Let me show you what we're going to do with that. First, let me wipe this up a little bit. It's not so messy. Okay, so chicken. Oh no, before chicken, lemon. I'm just thinking, whenever I deal with chicken, I think clean, do the clean work first. So anything that you'd have to use your hands for before you touch chicken, that's what you should do first. So we want to juice a lemon. So 1 lemon. So remember that. You always want to work with the chicken last, if possible. Okay. There's our lemon juice. Get rid of that. Now let's see. I've got the herbs. I've got the lemon juice. And get the chicken. Okay. Oh. All right, chicken. So, there they are, and we want to season the legs with some salt and some pepper, okay? Salt and pepper. And some of those herbs over the chicken. Okay. All right, now we have to get serious here, okay? All right, so, okay, so now, the ham. So what are we going to do with this? Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this ham and we're going to take the ham and just kind of wrap it around each of these chicken legs. 2 pieces. So there's one. And you notice I wore gloves. Did you notice I was wearing gloves? I think you did. And why did I do that? Because I don't want to contaminate everything. Because when you're dealing with raw chicken, I don't care what's raw meat, raw fish, whatever it is, you want to be really, really careful in the kitchen. Ideally, you want to do this in a stovetop to oven casserole, because once we brown the chicken and add the other ingredients that we're going to use for this recipe, it's going to go in the oven. So have a stovetop to oven casserole. So mine is heating up with some olive oil in it. And you just take those pieces and add them to the pan. Make sure you use a large enough pan so the chicken is not going to steam. It's going to brown. Okay, and with that, over medium heat, you want to add some onion. So 1 onion that's been chopped. Okay, we're going to let that brown until the onions kind of sweat down a little bit, and then I'll add the other ingredients. Now you can see how that ham is starting to crisp up a little bit. It's adding a little bit of juice and flavor to the onions in the pan. So now we can raise the heat a little bit. We're going to add some olives, some green olives. You could add black olives if you wanted, Cerignola olives. You can have Niçoise olives, whatever kind of olives you like. So we've got olives, we've got the juice of that lemon, just kind of bumping up the flavor. And we want to add about a cup of white wine. So I'm going to turn this up a little bit. So any wine you love to drink, any good dry white wine you can use for this dish. So we bring it to a boil, just like this. And then what we do is we have our oven on at 350 degrees. We're going to cover this pan, put it in the oven, and let it go until an instant read thermometer registers 165 in the thickest part of the leg. I always say there are 2 things you should have in your refrigerator at all times: lemons and a wedge of Parmigiano Reggiano. Then you're safe. You can do anything. So for this next chicken dish, for which we are using boneless chicken thighs, we need the zest and the juice of 2 lemons. So get a trusty zester like this to do your zest, because it has a lot of nice oil and flavor in it. Okay, so there's enough zest, and now we will juice this lemon so that we have plenty. Okay. All right, there's our lemon juice. Now we can get rid of that. Lemon juice, zest. Now what we want to do is get some herbs ready, because remember, we're dealing with chicken again, and I did tell you, you want to start with everything that's clean. So here we have some rosemary again. Beautiful looking rosemary. Take it right off the stem. Rosemary is for remembrance. Remember that. And here we have some fresh sage leaves. Let's see if I have any more in there. Sage didn't do so well in my garden this year. So there's some sage. And let's take a little bit more rosemary. I love rosemary with chicken. Okay, that looks like enough. So now that we have that, we want to just mince these herbs together. Because sometimes when you're cooking, the less you use is better, really. You don't have to use a lot of ingredients, you just have to use quality ingredients and use them wisely. So this dish doesn't have very many ingredients with it at all. You've got herbs, you've got lemon, you've got chicken thighs, you've got olive oil, and you've got dinner. So chop it up, and then what we want to do is flavor this in some olive oil with some garlic. Ooh, and when you really chop rosemary, it really sends out that nice scent. Okay, here is our garlic clove. All we really want to do is leave that whole, so we're just going to smash it. And now we want to get some oil hot. So we have some olive oil in our pan, and we're going to add that clove of garlic and just press on it a little bit. We just want it really to flavor the oil. So when you start to hear the oil sizzle, you know that you've reached the point where you can put the garlic in. So don't let the garlic burn, but you do want to give it some flavor. So by pressing on it, you'll be able to flavor that oil. And just watch it. And then while that's happening, I'll keep my eye on that, you want to take some coarse salt and sprinkle it over your chicken thighs. See? I like coarse salt for this one. It has a deeper flavor. And we want some butcher's pepper, which is coarse black pepper, also over the chicken thighs. I have 8 chicken thighs here. Okay, that looks good. How we doing here on this garlic? We really want to get that soft. When it starts to brown, I'll take it out. Rocking pan. Okay. Now, you see it's starting to take on a little color. See that? All right, now I can take that out. Take out the garlic. I'm going to add the chicken and the herbs. So, these are skinless. So in the pan they go. And I'll tell you, just by doing that little flavoring of the oil with the garlic, it really permeates as you're doing this. And that's the underside, so I'm going to give that a little bit more salt. And a little bit more pepper. All right, they're starting to brown nicely, so then you can turn them over. Okay. Once you turn them over like that, then you can sprinkle on those herbs. Remember, that's the rosemary and the sage. The lemon zest. And the lemon juice. So now we cover it, lower the heat to low, and simmer it for about 45 minutes, 35 minutes, or until an instant read thermometer placed in the thickest part of the thigh measures 165. Chicken cacciatore. You probably all have eaten it in some form or another. And chicken cacciatore actually is a Tuscan dish. It really is. And it takes about 45 minutes to stew some chicken and some herbs and tomatoes and wine. But I have a faster way to do it for all of you who are on a time limit. So instead of using bone-in chicken, which would give the cacciatore its flavor and have it cook even longer, I like to use boneless chicken breasts. And this is a quick chicken cacciatore. So we want to start with some herbs and spices. So we have some hot red pepper flakes. We've got some rosemary, thyme, oregano, whatever you want. Celery seeds. I'm putting all this in a bag. Some oregano and some salt. All in a bag. And just shake it all up and set this aside, because remember, I told you we're dealing with chicken, which means we're doing what? All of the clean stuff first. So that's our clean stuff, so we can get rid of that now. And so now we want to add some vegetables. We're going to add the chicken later, so that's just going to sit to the side. So we want some garlic. So here we have 3 cloves of garlic. We just want to give them a coarse chop and set them aside. Okay, goes right in here. And then with this, we'd like to have, of course, some celery. So here we have some fresh celery with the tops. Take off those bottom pieces and just give this coarse chop. With the tops, because the tops have a lot of flavor. Okay, that's good. And here we have some onion, 1 large onion chopped, so the celery is going to go with that. And then some peppers. How about green peppers for this? Or you could use red bell peppers if you want. So here's just a simple green pepper. And you want to just chop that up. I love chicken cacciatore because it's a good winter dish. And the word cacciatore means hunter style, because this was a dish that actually the nobility would eat when they would go out on the hunt, you see. They would go out on the hunt for probably rabbit, not chicken, so this probably was a dish that originated with rabbit or pheasant or some other kind of wild fowl, and then graduated into being a chicken dish. So they would go out on a hunt, they would get the meat that they were going to use, the fowl, and they would cook it and stew it, and it became cacciatore. So here's our pepper. All right, so now also with that we're going to have some tomatoes, but I'm not going to add that till I make the sauce. So we have our clean vegetables. We have our gorgeous garlic. We've got our herbs. Time to get the chicken. Here are our boneless chicken breasts. Nice and plump. And the reason that this is a fast chicken cacciatore is because I cut the chicken up into strips. This cooks in 20 minutes, you have chicken cacciatore. Okay, now that we have it like that, I can take this glove off and bring this bag over and get a clean glove and take this glove off and use one glove now. So we want to put the chicken right in this bag. Then you take off that dirty glove, because now your hands are clean, and you can close the bag. and really shake the chicken around to coat it in those herbs. Sometimes I do this ahead of time, get the chicken ready like this and keep it in the refrigerator, and then I cook it the next day. Okay, good to go in the sauce. So get some olive oil heating in a pan, and then all of those vegetables that we chopped up, the celery and the onion and the pepper, goes right in the pan. And we got to cook this down. The mixture has cooked down now, the minced vegetables. So now I'm going to add the garlic. I didn't want to add it with the vegetables at the beginning because I did not want that garlic to burn. But now I'm going to mix it in. I'm just going to cook it a couple minutes. I'm going to give this some salt and pepper. Not too much because I have it on the chicken. And then we're going to take these vegetables out and brown the chicken. And then we're going to put everything back together again with tomatoes and wine and lemon juice. So once you got it to that stage, you can start taking the veggies out into a pan. You're cooking everything in one pan. All right, we're going to set that aside. And then you just dump it right from the bag. Dump it right from the bag. Turn the heat up a little bit if you have to. And when this browns, then I'm going to take this out. Add some tomatoes, some wine, put the veggies back, put the chicken back, and let it go. The sauce is now reduced. We can add the chicken pieces. And once you do this, this is only going to take about 5 to 8 minutes because we've partially cooked this chicken already. And it's boneless and it's in strips, and that's why it's going to cook a lot faster than if you had done this with bone-in chicken. And you want to just simmer it, maybe for about 5 or 10 minutes. So, there you have it. Chicken cacciatore the fast way. Today we made 3 great chicken dishes for you, and we used various cuts of chicken. Right here, we used those boneless chicken thighs, and we cooked them with some herb and some lemon zest and olive oil. And remember, I told you that sometimes less is more. So less ingredients can always mean good, better flavor. So here are our chicken thighs in lemon and herbs. And then we made chicken legs with speck. Remember, I coated the chicken in some herbs first, then I wrapped the speck, that wonderful ham from northern Italy, around the chicken legs and then cooked them slowly, simmered them for about 45 minutes. And they're all ready for the eating. And don't they look beautiful? There are olives in there and wine, delicious. And if you're really in a hurry, you've got to make this chicken cacciatore. Quick chicken cacciatore. Remember, this is a typical dish that came originally from Tuscany, but we made it a little easier for you by using boneless chicken strips. So there you have it. Until I see you nella cucina again, I'm Mary Ann Esposito. Ciao!